So if this is the first time you're hearing about the title known as Monarch, I can't really blame you because unless you're really into NIS America titles, you probably wouldn't know what that is, but it's a title I think is worth your time. And in this video, we're going to dive right into that because it's got every staple you can think of for a game that's attractive to the Persona fan base. High schoolers, set in a high school for the most part, supernatural powers, and a bunch of teenagers that are pretty much supposed to save the world. Yeah, I think Persona fans would enjoy that. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this is a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
Before we kick this video off, I want to give a huge shout out to NIS America for providing the review copy of this game. I have it on various platforms, so I am reviewing this as I'm covering this on the Steam platform, on PlayStation 5, as well as Nintendo Switch. And in the review, I will be talking about the performance differences because there are performance differences between all three. Well, four if you include the PlayStation 4, but I'm just covering those three because those are the ones I mainly play on. But we're going to be covering the performance, the story, the gameplay, what I like and didn't like about it, and so much more. So if you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. And if you want to support what we do, if you want to pick up a copy of this game, I will leave an Amazon affiliate link down below. No additional cost to you, but if you decide to pick it up using that affiliate link, it does give a bit of a kickback to me, which helps in the overallness of this channel. Also, if you want to support further, you really just love the content I put out because, hey, I do make some damn good content, then head on over to patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova and sign up. That way you can get early and exclusive access to all the content that I make here, along with behind the scenes and early access input into what I'm making for the future. So all that being said, it's time to return to high school, even though for me it's been over 20 years to fight some demons and save the unsettled. Yeah. Let's get into this Monarch review before it gets even further awkward than I was in high school. Let's go. It's going to be impossible not to draw comparisons between Monarch and Persona, given the similarities between the two. Both have a cast of high schoolers set out to solve the mysteries of what's going on with a somewhat silent protagonist, along with having access to Daemonic, or in the case of Monarch, Daemonic, supernatural powers that allow the wielders to combat various monstrosities and various hordes, and they must travel through dungeons to fight off ever-growing threats. That, however, is where the similarities end, as Monarch is no Persona clone and dives off into its own fleshed out realm, and it's made all the better for it, with some caveats as well. The story of Monarch is set in a high school called Shin Mikado Academy that is blanketed in a mysteriously eerie mist that can drive people to insanity, leading them to become what is known as the Unsettled. Our protagonist seeks to save these unsettled and ends up answering a call from a phantom phone and forms a pact with a macabre entity known as Vanitas. In forming the pact, the agreement entails that the protagonist must defeat the pact bearers, of which are assigned to the 7 deadly sins, to stop the other world from invading our realm and taking over. Rounding up several members of your ragtag crew of compatriots, you must set out to save the campus and the students within it and revolt against the school administration and find out if the ambitions and ideals of the pact bearers are just or if they're just downright evil. Monarch's gameplay is multifaceted. Now, when it comes to the battle system, it's turn-based with a twist in that it's got an added layer of tactical strategy, with you having to move about the battlefield to position yourself to execute one of several actions with attacks and or magic or items. Each of your party members, humans and fiends, will have standard attacks centered around their weapon style, while more powerful attacks that consume HP, special skills, are called authorities, which are accessible to pact bearers bearers and fiends that consume your mad gauge. There's going to be more of that to come, so stay tuned. And put the hurting on your foes. The importance of positioning units allows you to trigger chain attacks amongst your allies and foes, which quickens the pace of battle. Certain attacks hit from a straight up line, while other attacks have AoE or area effects, and the same occurs with status and healing effects. The experience system is done much differently in Monarch, as you earn spirit, which can be used to purchase items from vanitas such as cure and health restoratives, and you can also use it to unlock various skills and upgrades to those skills within the skill tree. With every unlock and upgrade, your skill tree will continue to expand as your spirit is pulled together for you to allocate as you see fit. A cool aspect of upgrading and expanding your skills is the fact that those upgrades come with various stat buffs like AoE increases and reduction of HP draining and mad costs. You can also increase your stats by locating and collecting shards known as alter egos, with the catch being that you need to meet the requirements of the ego to pick up these shards. Outside of those aspects, traversing the campus will have you traveling to various floors, with each of the floors being controlled by a pack bearer, and will have you need to search every inch of the various floors and solving the puzzles, all the while trying to limit your time in the mist, which raises your mag gauge. Given that the mist drives individuals to becoming unsettled, and since you're in the mist and your mag gauge will keep increasing, the unsettled will eventually begin to become aggravated and start attacking you if you get too close. Now, another thing that's interesting about the mag gauge and being within the mist is if it fills all the way up, then you're going to pass out and return to the infirmary. So make sure you try to limit the amount of time you're spending in that type of environment. That way, you can traverse more. Also, there are items that you can get that you can use to reduce your mag gauge and prolong your time of being in the mist as a whole. But hey, let's keep going with this review. Another thing to expect is the eventual death call, which can cause the unsettled to be triggered to chase after you. You can stop the death call if you dial the precipice number given to you by Vanitas when you enter an area. Graphically speaking, I'm gonna be honest, this game isn't impressive looking and at times looks like an early PS3 era title with how underwhelming the characters look. Because the characters aren't expressive in any way outside of CGI cutscenes and the animated intros and outros, you'll have to listen to the tone of their voices or read the dialogue box to understand and catch emotional aspects of what's being said. Environments aren't that detailed and come off feeling and looking flat, which is honestly sad to see because once you see a Monarch show up, then all of a sudden the level of details jumps substantially. The audio is very solid with some catchy battle and overworld themes and voice acting that's honestly believable and well done and not overacted, which is a problem for a lot of games and anime these days. They're very overacted. Performance-wise, this game runs at 4K 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 Pro, as well as the PC version, allowing you to run all the way up to 120 frames per second. The Nintendo Switch port runs at 720p docked and handheld at 30 frames per second, which at this point is not surprising at all, and the base PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Slim run at 1080p at 60 frames per second. Now, the big question here is Monarch worth your time? And honestly, if you're looking for a game with an engaging story with an exceptional battle system and an awesome experience system and skill tree, then yes, you will find a lot to love here. It is a game that will appeal to the Persona fandom and those who've played and enjoyed the Caligula Effect games with its dark tone and oftentimes morally gray areas that will provide the player with something to think about long after. While there are better JRPGs out there, Monarch is a title that needs to be in your library. And that's it. That's the review for Monarch for PlayStation 5, for Nintendo Switch, and for the Steam platform. Again, thank you to NIS America for providing a review copy of the game. And if you want to pick up a copy of the game, link will definitely. And so I want to know at this point, what do you think of Monarch? Was it something that when you first saw the trailers, you didn't really know what it was? Or is it something that intrigued you when you saw those, very vague trailers that didn't really show much of the gameplay until much, much later on, closer to the release? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you really enjoyed it, make sure you leave this video a thumbs up, sub to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to pick up a copy of this game, make sure you head on to the description to get it off of Amazon and possibly even Best Buy. I think I do have affiliate links for Best Buy as well. So, you know, again, no additional cost to you, but it does give a little bit of kickback to the channel, which allows us to up the production value. So all that being said, if you want to support the content further, we do have Patreon. Head on over to patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova to get early and exclusive access on reviews, podcasts, live streams, input on various content I'm working on, your questions featured when I interview celebrities and other content creators in the gaming and tech industry, and so much more. All that being said, thank you guys for coming through. I hope you have an aloha rest of your day. And all that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. And if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships. We've got Patreon, we've got Subscribestar, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.